835, Skarin Yeager. Number 1986, Colombiach. Number 1999, Show Enough. Your co-captain, number 44, Dirty Carey. And your captain of the Bombshells, number 1897, Impaler Swift. On the bench tonight for the Bombshells are Rough Rider and Juicy. Looks like we're ready to get underway. Your first jammers are going to be Dirty Carey for the Bombshells and Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. Lined up here for the first jam of the first bout of the evening. Everybody's got finger guns up and we're ready to go. Both jammers fighting through. Princess Leia blocked off the track, but her blocker came off the track as well, which means you're allowed to get back up and go. So your first lead jammer is Princess Leia. Now, if you're new to Derby, you're going to see Leia come up here, try to get as many points as she can, and then with that signal of the tapping of the hips, the lead jammer, the first jammer to get out, can stop the clock and stop the point scoring. So Princess Leia got her 2 points, which you score a point by getting your hips in front of another skater, and then called the clock before the Bombshells could get any. So your score right now is 2-0 Brutal Beauties in the extremely, extremely easy early going. It's going to be Tornado Alley this time for the Bombshells and Skeletori for the Brutal Beauties. Both jammers that approached the track, approached the pack, easy for me to say. I wish I was better at talking. Both jammers had approached the pack slowly, and then Tornado Alley tried to go up to the high side and find her way around, was unable to do so, and is blocked off the track by Kitsch at the back of the pack. Skeletori blocked, but again, her blockers came off the track, so Tori gets waved on by, and Tori is your lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. Tornado Alley is out about a third of the track behind and is now going to try to put on pressure. Skeletori now gets bumped to the infield and has to get up quickly to call the jam off. You can't stop the jam while you're on the infield, and Skeletori there had to quickly run back up on the track and reestablish herself to call the action. It looks like we're going to have an official timeout here in the early going. That'll give me a second to explain that both teams scored points there. It was 3 points for the Beauties, but then Tornado Alley on the pursuit got all 4 points of that scoring pass as well, so the Bombshells actually come out on top in that jam. So the score right now, with just 2 minutes gone here in the bout, 5-4 Brutal Beauties. An official timeout as you see the regulators there on the infield discussing some of the goings-on. It would appear that that timeout is over, so we'll get to some sponsor announcements momentarily. However, I do see that there's a jammer in the penalty box for the Brutal Beauties. Penalty was assessed to Skeletori in the last jam, so in the third jam of the game, we have our first power jam. Skid Vicious up to the jammer line. As we said before, you'll see here that the Bombshells are down a jammer and a blocker, and Skid Vicious able to just bully through, knock the pivot out of the way, and Skid is out and clear for the Bombshells. Beauties now are going to line up, try to play some defense. And Skid's able to weave through the pack. Blockers that are more than 20 feet beyond the pack, as defined by the regulators on the infield, are not allowed to block any longer. You see here those two Bombshells tried to block, but Skid Vicious along the inside dodges a sliding block from Gypsy Danger and finishes another scoring pass. There's 15 seconds left in the Bombshells power jam. Skid Vicious now past her back defensive wall, And those front blockers are out of play and could not block. 4 seconds now, 2 seconds, Skid cruising around, but the clock is going to expire. We'll wait to confirm from the infield, but that certainly looked to be a very productive power jam for the Bombshells. And there it is. The Bombshells are going to rack up 15 big points here in the early going. 19-5, the Bombshells are going to spring in front. Your jammers this time are Tornado Alley for the Bombshells and Evil Twin for the Beauties. Both jammers kind of ride the defense down to the infield as the pack heads down into the first turn. Evil Twin gets shaken down to the infield. Both jammers on the infield, in fact. Now, Evil Twin to the inside and finds an opening. Evil Twin is your lead jammer once again. Brutal Beauties have had lead jam in all 3 of the even strength jams, but the Bombshells had a power jam, and so far that's been the difference. Tornado Alley along the inside is able to get clear as well. And now here comes Evil Twin on a scoring attempt. Runs into the back wall there of defenders, the Bombshells. Enema Burns takes Evil Twin off to the infield, and Twin gets up to call it off with Tornado Alley again on the pursuit. Setting up the jam now. The next jam is going to be Dirty Carry for the Bombshells, and we're going to have Avril Lavigne for the Brutal Beauties. Have a brief moment here, checking on the score. Jam referee Meryl Streak and Eye in the Sky's Zero Cool. 3 points for the Brutal Beauties there in the last jam. This jam underway. Dirty Carry finds an opening along the inside and races straight through. It's Dirty Carry, lead jammer for the Bombshells. Avril Lavigne takes a shoulder to the clavicle and then just gets escorted to the infield by Skid Vicious. Tough defense along the back straightaway for the Bombshells. Avril now gets out, and now here comes Dirty Carry, and Dirty Carry along the inside to get that extra point. The jammer is a scorable point. Dirty Carry along the inside. Avril Lavigne was still kind of gaining balance and trying to get going. And now we're going to check, and it would appear that Avril Lavigne had picked up a penalty as well. Indeed, that is the case. So at the moment, we've got another power jam for the Bombshells. Once again, the Bombshells are going to go on the offense here, and that's Scarin Yeager at the jammer line. Yeager now up to the front wall. There's 3 Beauties out there, but Yeager's able to find an opening and slide through. 12 seconds gone in the power jam. Scarin Yeager coming around for their first scoring attempt. The Bombshells have a stout defensive wall here at the beginning. That's maximum overdrive and now those blockers out of play. Saw the blockers had to put those hands up. And Scarin Yeager gets on through. 27 seconds left in the Bombshells power jam. The Bombshells wall at the back of the pack. You see all 4 of those blockers are keeping Kitch held up. Scarin Yeager gets by because those blockers still out of play. 15 seconds left on the Bombshells power jam. Yeager now runs into Kitch. Kitch giving it all up for a block. They're really doing everything she can at the back of the pack. Yeager now trying to fight by along the rail is going to get pinned in. And staring the pivot right in the face, Yeager calls it off. We'll check on the scoring there. Once you've gotten your hips in front of a skater, you don't have to pass them again. You get that point. And it's a 14-point power jam for the Bombshells and Scarin Yeager. So Scarin Yeager with a 14-point power jam, Skid Vicious with a 15-point power jam, and that's pretty much been more or less all the offense so far. Bombshells have jumped in front 38-8. However, we do have a challenge. You did hear the whistle, and some Puerto Rican guy has signaled that the Bombshells are going to challenge. What they're challenging is, I see Scarin Yeager appearing to be ready to serve a penalty, I believe. So we will check on the actual nature of the challenge and the outcome thereof once the regulators are done. And this works much like you see in any other sport. Everybody's going to get together there in the back straightaway, discuss the merits of the challenge, and we'll see what happens.
I'm back, and also Al is announcing the second hit now, because I just asked. Wow, now it's a break. I ran up here, and it's a timeout.
We'd like to let you know about one of our longtime league sponsors, Copper Star Coffee. It's a locally owned coffee shop and cafe providing hand-blended drinks and award-winning baked goods. Visit them on the southwest corner of 7th Avenue and Heatherbray. It's just north of Indian School Road for delicious coffee, tea, muffins, and their incredible homemade bagels every day. Also, Lost Dutchman Tattoo. They're a tattoo shop specializing in various styles from realism to traditional. You could also customize your own tattoo. I'm walking proof. I did it. Walk-ins are accepted. I'm also walking proof. I walked in and they accepted me. The shop is located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. That's on the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road, just across the street from the best banana cream pie in the city at my mother's restaurant. All right, we have the results of the challenge. It was indeed a penalty that had been called on Scary Yeager. The penalty is overturned. Successful challenge by the Bombshells. So it will not be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties.
All right, we just have another second before we're back to the action, and I'm back now. So, if you missed it before, I'm Sandy. Hello.
Let's hear it for everybody watching on the Twitch live stream at home. Don't forget, you can go to Twitch as well. Every subscription helps the league, even if you intend to be here during bouts. Your subscription and your follow helps the league.
And if you subscribe, you get league-exclusive emotes, including our wonderful disco skate.
That's right.
I'm a fan.
All hail the disco skate, all hail the disco skate.
All right, on the jammer line for the Bombshells is Dirty Carrie.
Eurojammer for the Brutal Beauties, Princess Leia.
Oh, they both try to get out on the low, but are taken to the infield. Carrie is moving fast towards the front. Oh, and Leia and Carrie are out in turn two. It's a jammer race. Both Carrie and Leia are so fast, so Carrie calls it off. Look, I can't say if Leia was behind me, I wouldn't call it off.
Yeah, you saw down there that Carrie was trying to bump Leia off to the infield and take off, and it looked like Leia was able to stay established. So quick into that jam, no points for either side. Your jammer for the Beauties this time is Evil Twin.
And that's number 6, Tornado Alley. Twin runs into a strong black wall in the back. Alley is playing some jammer defense on the low. Both teams are doing a really wonderful job keeping the jammers in. Oh, but Alley gets out in turn 2. Oh, and a tumble.
Big collision back there. It was Evil Twin running into Impaler Swift and then collecting Enema Burns.
Another tumble allows Evil Twin to get out, though. Hopefully, he can keep her jammer point away and keep it to one scoring pass.
Tornado Alley just kind of working her way down the defensive wall and trying to find an opening. Gets around Optimus Prime, dodges Skeletori, and calls it off. 4 hard-fought points there for the Bombshells in that jam. 6:15 to go in the first quarter. It's 42-8. The Bombshells in front on the strength of those 2 early power jams. Beauties jammer this time is Gypsy Danger.
And that is your co-captain, Dirty Carrie.
You see both jammers there kind of fighting their way up and down. Gypsy Danger in particular is just trying to find an opening. A Dirty Carry along the inside breaks free and is your lead jammer. Now Gypsy Danger out as well. The pack breaks free now, and there's a skater down. Here comes Dirty Carry with a full head of steam, trying to get by along the rail, and calls it off with Gypsy Danger coming in from behind. Two points for the Bombshells there, 44-8 here in the early going. Jammer for the Bombshells is going to be Tornado Alley once again, and your jammer for the Beauties is Skeletori. Tori down to the inside, Alley up to the front of the defense quickly, but then now both jammers kind of switch places. Tori bumped to the infield, reestablishes and takes off.
Oh, it's a jammer race. Allie almost passes Tori on the low, but comes off the track, so she has to reset.
So now Tori coming in on a scoring pass. Allie is about half a track behind now and trying to close in here and keep this to one scoring pass. Tori now to the front, trying to fight by. Jaeger staying in the way, and Tori calls it off.
I would never normally tell you this. You might need to talk louder.
All right, we're going to check, and I just heard a penalty called out. We're checking on the Beauties here, but I did just hear a penalty that was called out on the jammer from the last jam for the Bombshells. So at the moment, it looks like we're going to have, well, now there goes the Beauties jammer. Let's see.
Bombshells are currently in the lead, 44-11, and I will say what has really been saving them this game is the power jam.
Yeah, and we have another one. Speaking of which, there's Dirty Carry at the jammer line for the Bombshells. Once we get everything sorted out, I'm not even done explaining what happened.
Carrie got it. I looked down for 5 seconds, and Carrie was out.
Yeah, so excellent offensive strategy there right at the jump by the Bombshells. They've got one skater pinned at the back, and then you saw Skid Vicious just bowl through that line, and like a fullback in the NFL, just lead and carry right through. 33 seconds to go in the power jam.
There are some rules in roller derby where skaters have to be a certain distance, and I'm going to be honest, it's a little confusing. But Beauties or Bombshells are doing a really nice job keeping a beauty in the back, so the skaters in the front can only go so far away. So if you're wondering why the skaters in the front have to let her go, it's because they're out of play.
6 seconds left in the power jam. Dirty Carry gets knocked down and is going to go ahead and call off the last couple of seconds on the jam clock. All right, it is another 14-point power jam for the Bombshells once again.
That brings the Bombshells to 58 points.
Yeah, so far the Bombshells have really made hay in those power jams. That's 43 of their 58 points scored in 3 power jams.
All right, we have Evil Twin on the jammer line for the Beauties.
It's Tornado Alley for the Bombshells.
Alley tries to run out on the high, but is stopped by Prime.
A big collision. That was Alley going down, tumbling over Kitch and collecting another skater in the process. Meanwhile, getting out as lead jammer, that's Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties. Twin now is going to be catching up to the pack with Tornado Alley closing in from behind, and Twin dispenses with the blocker and calls it off.
All right, we have Skid Vicious jamming for the Bombshells, stopping Princess Leia on the low.
Now Skid up to the high side and using the rail as leverage, trying to fight through, and now does. Skid breaks free. Lead jammer for the Bombshells. Princess Leia now hemmed in at the back of the pack and gets escorted down by, it looks like that was Thigh Voltage and Gold Digger over there. 3 skaters take a tumble as Skid coming through on her first scoring pass.
Oh, and Skid gets out, but gets recycled in front of, and Sleia finally makes it out in turn 4. And they're both kind of just hanging out.
Gypsy Danger was on her knees and then just lunged forward head first and tried to block Skid's knee with her head. I don't recommend that as a strategy, but really was just trying to get in front of Skid with the shoulder.
Ooh, and jamming for the first time tonight is Beater Cottontail. It's actually her first bout ever, at least in our league. Ever? Ever? Okay, I knew you played flat track for a little bit, so yeah. I don't know.
However, can say never not statting, this is Beater Cottontail's first jam in a regular season bout, yes.
And we have Skeletori. It is not her first jam ever.
Right.
She has done this a whole lot.
Yes. So there along the inside, Beater Cottontail takes a block and has to get back up and reestablish behind the pack. Tightly bunched pack with Tori trying to fight through as well.
Cotton gets taken to the infield again. Oh, but runs out on the low.
And Cotton with a bunch of running steps, kind of choppy steps to get clear. And Cotton is your lead jammer for the Bombshells.
Yeah, you can hear her whole bench screaming at her to go, 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 go.
Burns now is going to slide and block Tori down, and here comes Cotton on a scoring pass. Cotton runs right up into the middle of that defensive wall, kind of a phalanx of defenders there for the Brutal Beauties. And now Tori's going to try to get through. Cotton trying to fight through, picking up a couple of points along the way. Takes a tumble, and Tori gets out the front of the pack. So we know that Cotton has some points. We'll have to wait for the regulators to tell us how many. And that's going to do it. The clock expires on the jam. There we go. All 5 of those points on that scoring pass. Beater Cottontail, 5 points up on the board. First points. And that's going to take us up to the end of the first quarter. With those 5 points, the Bombshells build on their lead, and we're going to take a 5-minute break from the action. Your score right now, Bombshells 68, Brutal Beauties 14.
We are back to the roller derby action, and it looks like we are starting with a power jam for the Beauties.
Yeah, we sure are. We're going to start things off with a power jam for the Brutal Beauties, and it's Gypsy Danger at the jammer line. So the Beauties now have an opportunity to try to get some points on the board. However, the Bombshells have had the entire quarter break to prepare, and you can see so far that defense has held strong.
Yeah, that is a very strong Bombshells wall stopping Gypsy.
You've got Skid Vicious, Dirty Carry, Scaring Jaeger, and Impaler Swift out there for the Bombshells.
But
and now
Gypsy gets out going into turn 2 and is coming around to score some points. But the Bombshells are just walling up in the back again.
Yeah, the Bombshells did a very, very valid power jam defensive strategy, is just eat as much time as you can. And if you can limit a power jam to maybe one scoring pass, as the Bombshells are probably going to do here with 9 seconds left on the clock, that would be a defensive victory in a power jam anyhow. 3 seconds left now. And that'll do it. So a good defensive effort by the Bombshells on the power jam.
And jamming for the Bombshells is now Hannibal Lecture.
Your jammer for the Brutal Beauties
Is Twin. It's Twin.
That's Evil
She
Twin.
was right behind Hanny. I could not see Twin, but we're good. We figured it out.
Beauties put 3 points on the board there to start the scoring here in the second quarter.
Twin tries to run out on the low, is fighting against Dirty Carry. High voltage recycles to the front. Oh, but Twin rail spins and gets out. But Hanny is just a little bit behind her.
So now we got a jammer race breaking out. Twin is going to try to stay ahead with Hanny closing in from behind. Twin tries to hang low in the turn. Hanny hangs low as well, and Hanny is there and up to the challenge. So
the
Twin
Beauties
has to call
were
it
trying
off.
to keep a point in the back for Hanny, but Twin was just so close behind.
So no points for either side. That's going to be Tornado Alley for the Bombshells this time.
And that is Avril Lavigne for the Beauties. I don't know what Avril Lavigne's like shortened version. Is it just Bean? I'm just calling her Bean. Bean is fighting against Swift. Oh, but gets out on the low, but is taken in the infield by Jaeger.
Alley is up towards the front of the pack, but as I say that, kind of the two halves of the pack unite. I just saw...
Yeah, the Beauties were kind of stopping their own jammer, and then Jaeger almost stopped their own jammer. It got a little weird.
Alley gets out. Alley's lead jammer for the Bombshells. Now Avril Lavigne is trying to shake clear at the back of the pack, but gets bumped by Impaler Swift.
Oh, and Alley skates through untouched and is going to come around for some more points. And Alley's coming around. Oh, almost makes it through untouched, but it is stopped by Muerta.
So there's 8 seconds left on the jam clock, and Alley gets pinned up to the rail. We'll see if Alley can... Alley does finish off that scoring pass and calls it off.
And that is 10 points for the Bombshells.
There we are. Bombshells 10 more points up on the board, and the Bombshells are going to send Skid Vicious to the jammer line for this jam. That's going to be Skeletori for the Brutal Beauties. Looks like a full pack, I believe.
I don't see anyone in the box,
That's
but
right. Full
there's
pack.
some refs in the way. So
Full
who
pack, all
knows?
10 skaters out there.
Skid Vicious is trying to play some jammer defense and then make it out on the low, but is stopped by Razor Cat. Tori takes a rough hit. Both jammers are just kind of stuck in the back. Skid almost gets out, but fights against Evil Twin and then gets out in turn 4.
Skeletori gets out right behind her, and Skid calls it off. So, jammer race preemptively cut off. And now let's see what we've got developing here. All right, I do hear the penalty coming in. Black 5-5. That's Skid Vicious heading to the penalty box. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties.
All right, this is a great opportunity for the Beauties to put some points. Oh, but there's no TO.
This is a great opportunity for the Beauties to talk about strategy because it's an official timeout.
It's also a great opportunity for me to tell you about the minor assaults. Hold on, give me a second, because I promised someone I'd mention the minors. Oh, no. Did it go? Thank you. Are you between the ages of 10 and 17 and love to skate? Our minor assaults are looking for new skaters to join their team. Our coaches not only teach technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that will help in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills, dedication to learn, and a positive mental attitude are all we require. Come and see what the fun is about. Ask any Arizona Derby dame how to get involved, but I would recommend asking Al. Al's over here in a white shirt. If you ask me, I'll point you her way. She's the coach. She's great. Slaya gets out immediately in the first straightaway. I got distracted, but there she goes.
Slaya's already out. And you can see now the Beauties are trying to keep the pace of play slow.
So unfortunately, not only do the Bombshells have a jammer penalty, they also have a blocker penalty. So they are also skating down a blocker, which will make Slaya's life easier.
So far, those defenders at the front of the pack were equal to the task. That's Scary Yeager and Dirty Carey at the front of the pack, but now with some help from a blocker, they shake Slaya loose. So that's one scoring pass. With 20 seconds left in the power jam, Slaya now comes in for number 2. And that time, Slaya with a flying leap. Almost an apex jump, not quite the apex of the turn, and that's going to do it. The jam clock expires.
All right, a pretty good defensive effort from the Bombshells. They kept Slaya to 10 points, which admittedly is a lot of points, but not that many for a power jam.
We're going to have Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties.
And that is Skid Vicious back on the jammer line for the Bombshell. She got out of the penalty box and back on the jammer line.
It's going to be a small pack. We've got 2 Brutal Beauties in the penalty box and 1 Bombshell.
I heard a lot of split packs and failure to reforms called. So if I had to guess, got some failures. But Skid gets out anyway through that short pack. And Twin runs out right behind. Bombshells have a good opportunity to try to pick up some points. Oh, but the Beauties run and split the pack.
So now Skid's going to try to get to those skaters up at the front of the pack. The first one she passes is worth 3 points. And there goes Skid, fights on by and calls it off.
Luckily, Skid Vicious is very fast, so even though the Beauties were able to keep that pack real fast, it did not matter.
Setting up the jam now while we check on the score from that previous jam. This is going to be Tornado Alley for the Bombshells.
And is that Gypsy Danger?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Now I know that she's got great shorts on, so I won't forget.
Ended up being 4 points for the Bombshells there in that jam. Tornado Alley along the rail, and Alley is able to find an opening and fight through. Gypsy Danger out as well, so we're going to have ourselves a jammer race.
Again, we did this before, didn't we?
Yeah, there we go.
No, it was Allie and Slaya, but that's okay. A lot of jammer races.
So
Allie's able to pick up something.
Yeah, Allie was able to get up to the pack and get at least a couple of points.
We will wait for the refs to tell us exactly how many.
Yeah, indeed. We've got a team timeout now. The Bombshells are going to call timeout.
Allie picked up 1 point. 1 point.
All right, 1 point for the Bombshells there. So we'll take a moment to let the Bombshells have their team timeout. So we'll step aside from the action momentarily. 7:22 to halftime. Bombshells 83, Beauties 27.
Cool. And while we're waiting during this timeout, make sure you visit the Arizona Derby Dames snack bar to grab a cold beverage or snack. All proceeds go back to the league, and your support is greatly appreciated. There may perhaps be a cart coming around. Sometimes we have a snack cart, but it depends on who's here. So if there's a snack cart, you can just wait for the snack bar to come to you.
Also, Derby fans, don't forget we have a big fundraiser coming up for the Arizona Derby Dames regulators. It's the Spooktacular Chili Cook-Off. That's taking place next Saturday at 6 to 9 p.m. at Daddy-O's Grill, 4163 West Thunderbird Road. Check in with anybody wearing stripes this evening, and they can give you all the details. It's a $20 entry fee. Raffle prizes, trophies, etc. A fun time for all and lots of tasty chili.
I went last year. The chili was very good. All right, and we have Dirty Carrie and Skeletori back on the jammer line. Carrie is fighting her way through a strong pink wall, and Tori's doing the same in the back against the Bombshells. There's not a lot happening, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you mean there's not a lot happening? For
Well,
fans of the
there
trenches
we
and
go.
blocking, there we go, after all that. See, as I've said before, as the son of an offensive lineman, I love the trench work. So for me, that was just, I'm like, oh,
I
yeah,
mean, but
get
how
in
do
there.
you describe it? They're
Yeah, no,
all
just,
slow.
Just run
They're
into
all
each other
slow in
multiple
the back.
times. Yes, there we go out the front of the pack goes Skeletori to try to keep this to one scoring pass. Ricocheting off the rail and calling it off.
And we have Tornado Alley back on the jammer line for the Bombshells.
Bombshells put 4 more points up on the board there. It's going to be Avril Lavigne for the Brutal Beauties.
This is only Avril Lavigne's second game ever. Also a rookie. There's nothing worse than when you're really ready to go and then you just sit there.
So Lavigne up into the blockers at the back of the pack, once again dealing with Impaler Swift, Scary Yeager, and Beater Cottontail at the back there. Tornado Alley out the front of the pack for the Bombshells. Lead jammer once again.
And Alley, just skates on through. And is going to come around for some more points. Avril Lavigne is still stuck against a strong Bombshells wall, but gets a little help from her teammates. Unfortunately, her teammates were so distracted playing that they did not stop Alley.
So the slow pack is going to come grinding through the far turn here, and now here comes Tornado Alley. He's going to pick the high side. Bitch Please takes her up into the rail. Alley is going to fight on by, though, and finish off that scoring pass as the clock expires. Alley finishes with flourish. All right, it's 15 points for the Bombshells there. 15 big points, and the Bombshells are already over 100. 102-27. Bombshells have breached triple digits. That's going to be Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties, and that is Dirty Carrie for the Bombshells. We once again have a short pack. We've got 2 Bombshells and a Beauty in the penalty box. So both jammers approach.
But Twin gets out in turn 1 with some help from Razor Cat. It is it's a small pack
very
out
short
there,
pack,
guys.
yeah. Now that time, another big block there. I believe that
By
was
Kitch.
Yeah, I saw
Kitch.
Kitch down there with a big block knocking Carrie up into the rail. Now Carrie's going to play jammer defense and does it well. Gets up.
But there goes Twin again.
Twin gets through, though.
Twin has 30 more seconds to try to score some points, and I know Twin. I think she's going to do it. And if I know Twin, oh my gosh.
There we go.
I was about to say if I know
Twin
Twin, she's
fighting
about
through.
to jump the coping. And then she did. Sometimes I forget Twin can do that, and then she does it, and I'm like, oh, hello. Oh my goodness, she's so talented. Ooh!
Twin
It's
up to
taken
the
to the
high side
rail.
and fights, trying to fight through.
Dirty Carrie stops Twin for a second, just has kind of abandoned getting points. What a wonderful jam for the Beauties.
A very good jam there for Evil Twin and the Brutal Beauties. There's going to be a stoppage in play here, so while we find out what that stoppage is, it's a team timeout for the Brutal Beauties, so team timeout pink. We will take a moment. I wanted to say before we get into sponsor announcements, speaking of rookies such as Avril Lavigne, rookies skating in their first bouts, we wanted to give a shout out to all of our current rookies who help us put on these bouts. Let's get a cheer for our current rookies. That's right. Those people that you see scurrying about and kind of helping the bout go, that's actually some of our rookie skaters.
They have to stay late and mop the warehouse.
Direct
so
traffic.
They have the hardest job.
Exactly. But then once they test out and graduate and such, then they get to jam like Avril
And
Lavigne.
then you never
so yeah,
have to
we
mop the
love our
warehouse
rookies.
ever again.
Absolutely.
Which isn't true. You got to do it all the time. You just do it not after the bout. Hey, by the way, if it is the first time you've ever seen a Derby game, I promise you that this is actually a pretty close game. It's very easy to think that a 60-point difference in score is like insurmountable, but Twin just got 15 points, which really closes that lead.
Right, yeah. Twin picked up 15 points in a regular jam, and we've already had three 14-point power jams. So, yeah, a 60-point lead is easily accomplished in 4 jams.
Yeah, and
it's
especially
possible,
going into halftime.
Right.
We still have a whole half a game
Oh,
left.
absolutely, yeah. We've got 33 minutes and 27 seconds of Derby action left, plus penalty jams.
And we have Princess Leia, the captain of the Beauties, on the jammer line.
Near jammer for the Bombshells is Scary Yeager.
Both fan favorites.
I barely know what Yeager looks like in a Bombshells jersey, not going to lie.
What is that? Because they sub a lot?
Yeah, they sub a lot.
Okay, I was like, what does this mean?
They skate in every
bout.
bout.
Man, Slaya almost pulled Sydney Slaughter's pants off.
And there goes Yeager. That's
Slaya took such a whip.
There we go. Yeager calls it off with Princess Slaya once again. As Sandy has mentioned, Slaya, one of the fleetest of skate in the league, so Yeager calls it off. Yeah, I was just mentioning that Yeager, I think, has skated in both halves of every bout so far this year.
They're not skating next bout.
They're
not in the next one.
Taking it easy tonight, slacker. Ends up being no points for either side, and we've got
Skate Vicious on the jammer line for the Bombshells.
Your Beauties jammer is Skeletori.
We had a little bit of a tumble. Tori tried to capitalize on that, but gets caught up in the back behind a strong wall. She takes the helmet cover off, but Twin gets pushed to the infield. Unfortunate.
So now
and Twin goes.
So there goes Twin. Now Twin's going to put that star cover on.
Yeah, again, if this is the first time you've ever watched roller derby, you can do a thing called a star pass, which means whoever has the stripe on their helmet can take the star from someone else. And now Twin is the jammer and has to get points.
That's right. Evil Twin is your jammer of record and lead jammer for the Bombshells. And now there goes Skid Vicious outrunning that last blocker to the point.
Yeah, because Tori's now a blocker, not the jammer anymore.
Right, there we go.
I think Twin probably got some points. It's not 15 points this time, but some points.
Twin picks up 4 more points.
Hey, that's a fair amount of points.
All right.
We have Gypsy Danger in her fun shorts on the jammer line.
And the jammer for the Bombshells is Tornado Alley. We've got 1 minute and 50 to go until halftime.
Alley tries to run out on the high, but is stopped by Princess Leia, but gets out in turn 1.
Gypsy is still at the back of the pack. Once again, that stout defense for the Bombshells. It's every time. And Paler Swift, Scary Yeager, Show Enough is back there. That back wall for the Bombshells has been very, very good.
Alley runs into someone. I don't know who, but someone.
There's Gypsy now fighting out at the front of the pack. So Gypsy's going to try to keep this to...
So Gypsy is going to go as fast as she can so that she can force Alley to call it off. Allie's taking her sweet time, though.
Calls it off. I like how Gypsy only has fun shorts depending on which side you're looking at.
That's true. I just only get to see the fun side.
See,
the fun side is facing the crowd,
exactly.
though.
That's the fun cheek. It's like Alex Karras's ox in Blazing Saddles. It's got a yes and a no. We have a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Look at that. To take us into halftime, let's hear it from the Beauties fans in the house. Skeletori on the jammer line, and it's going to...
except for there's an OTO.
No. Some Puerto Rican guy wants to call a stop to the action. So regulators are going to talk this one over, make sure we got all the penalties correct. So a brief stoppage in play. 40 seconds till halftime. If it is still a power jam, that will be our last jam of the first half.
And while we wait, I would love to tell you about Sidewalk Surfer. Sidewalk Surfer has a large selection of roller skates and skate accessories. They build custom skates and service all brands of skates. Open 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday and 10 through 6 on Sundays. Located at 2602 North Scottsdale Road.
Looks like the OTO is getting ready to wind down. We wanted to let you know at halftime and during intermission, be sure to get outside and check out the food trucks. We have Flying K Barbecue.
Which is really good.
Which is what it sounds like, and it smells delicious. And we have Exquisite. It's a dessert trailer with a variety of sweet treats. That's your 2 food options outside this evening if you're here in person.
All right, we have Skeletori jamming this Beauties Power Jam. But we have another strong Bombshells wall.
That Bombshells wall, once again, we were just talking about it. You've got Impaler Swift again, and then I see we've got Dirty Carrie in there. That's Scary Yeager and Skid Vicious as your defensive cohort for the Bombshells. And they have been up to task all night long. They're trying to get Skeletori broken free, but that Bombshell rolling wall at the front there.
Unfortunately, the Bombshells are just doing a really great job staying together. Oh, and Tori sneaks past on the low, but then gets recycled in front of.
15 seconds left on this power jam, and the Bombshells now up to now are up to the task. 9 seconds,
Tori
8 seconds.
has just decided.
That's right.
She's not trying.
So Tori calls it off. So.
And Tori can't call it off.
Defensive stand at the end.
Did she get out?
Defensive stand there at the end of the first half, so no points for either side, no points on the power jam. Your score as we head into halftime is 106-46, Bombshells in front.
And really quickly, before you go get your drinks and beverages.